It is one of the most unique classrooms in America, a ship which just wrapped up a summer of intense training for future officers in the Coast Guard. That classroom is now anchored in Baltimore, and Mark Strassman is on deck. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Nora, and check it out. I'm standing aboard the Eagle, the only active commissioned sailing ship in the entire U.S. fleet. There are diesel engines aboard, but when the Eagle can sail, she sails. There are 3 tall masts, more than 20,000 square feet of sail, 5 miles of rigging. This is a true tall ship, eye-catching to anyone on shore and eye-opening to anyone who serves aboard.
On the main course, sheet ho!
Heave ho!
They were raising sails by hauling lines, hand over hand. It was one more way the Eagle seemed to be pulling everyone aboard into a bygone century, when tall ships ruled the high seas. But the Eagle, nearly a football field long, is really a classroom at full sail. Its 3 masts rise 15 stories high. The full-time crew of 57 teaches Coast Guard trainees the fundamentals of seamanship.
Hand over hand, let's go, ladies!
One example, navigation without GPS. They charted a course the old-fashioned way.
The lower limb of the sun, the bottom of the sun, is sitting on top of the horizon.
09, come to 190.
Wes Pulver, a 26-year Coast Guard veteran, is the captain of the Eagle. On this tall ship, he is headmaster and commander.
It's an opportunity to really take you back to the basics of how people navigated for hundreds of years before we had satellites in the sky.
This is as back to basics as it gets.
It is, and that's on purpose. I mean, we make a point that, we want the folks out on deck. We want them cold, wet, and tired.
On this particular day, the Eagle was 100 miles off the coast of Norfolk. The ship pitched in 12-foot swells. Half the sailors got sick.
We're rolling around, the wind's crazy, like you're not going to get that in a classroom.
The Eagle was built as a training ship in 1936 for sailors in Hitler's Germany. After World War II ended, the U.S. seized it as a war reparation, and ever since, generations of Coast Guard trainees aboard have literally learned the ropes. Matthew Marler spent the last 2 weeks aboard the Eagle. He is halfway through officer candidate school.
It was definitely an eye-opening experience, and one we'll always take with us.
Challenging?
Challenging? I've never been so tired in my life.
Whatever that fear is or whatever that challenge you might personally have, Eagle exposes it because you're in the weather.
And in that baptism by storm, you probably have people who have surprised you, both good and bad.
Sure. I mean, some people find out that it's not a life meant for them, or choose a different profession.
Take your compass.
24/7 the teaching goes on, in continuous 4-hour shifts, from navigating under the stars to firefighting.
Keep staying low. Remember to stay low.
Sharon McCombs was learning to guide the ship out of port.
At first it was a bit overwhelming, and as we got further out to sea, it was rewarding. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going.
Did it make you want to be captain of a boat?
It did. I wanted to have the command of my own ship.
And did you realize that before that very moment?
I did not. I didn't realize how important it is to be a leader, not only a leader, but also to have the command where everyone's relying on you. Their lives are in your hands.
Today, the Eagle is also known as America's tall ship, and as a roving ambassador has sailed to 5 continents and more than 40 countries.
We've had probably trainees, individual trainees, probably 10, 20,000 folks across these decks that have been trained. It's just an amazing amount of people. And then you start thinking of all the rescues that have been done by the U.S. Coast Guard, and to understand that a lot of the leaders and the future officers of the Coast Guard went through this vessel, it's a lot of extra pride in here.
It really is something to see. The Eagle averages 5 months a year at sea. It's about to go down for some scheduled maintenance for the next couple of months. And Charlie, Gail, and Nora, if you're wondering about the officer candidates who've been serving on board, they will graduate and get their commissions this December.
Mark Strassman, thanks. What a way to learn. Nicely done. Thank you, sir.